Welcome to our first Tech Corner in English.
English, yes. My name is Mikkel.
Yeah, and my name is Lars.
And we are consultants in Videnscenter for Velfærdsteknologi.
Yeah, it's a knowledge center for welfare tech in Denmark. And we work only for healthcare schools in Denmark. So we actually don't work for the nursing schools or stuff like that. It's only, and that's just how we are funded. Yeah. So it's not because we don't want to, it's just because what we get paid to do.
And we are funded by the Ministry of Education in Denmark.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's not a private organization. It's a public organization, and basically we're just here to help the healthcare schools to get welfare tech integrated into the educations.
Yeah.
So we do everything from material for the classes. We do virtual reality. We do a lot of videos, instructional videos. We do podcasts. We do things like this.
Yeah.
We help the teachers
integrate or implement the technology we have.
Yeah.
And it's all for our students, so they can be prepared for the future of healthcare.
Yeah. So basically that's it.
Yeah. So today we are going to show you a lot of the welfare technology we have and is in the field in Denmark. You're always allowed to write comments down below, and we will answer the comments as fast as we see them.
Yeah, we probably have to say we're only two people. Usually we're more. We have one controlling the computer and one controlling the comments. But today it's just us. So if we walk forth and back to the computer, it's just because we have to change cameras and stuff like that.
It's a busy place to work.
Yeah.
And there it is. If you watch this later on our YouTube channel, you can write the comments in the YouTube video, and we'll come in and answer them.
Yeah, so we'll answer any way you ask us questions.
And ask if there is anything.
Yeah,
it's always funnier to have this if there is some comments.
Yeah, some kind of connection to you, the viewers out there. Yeah. But basically, what we are going to go through is a lot of smart wheelchairs and stuff like that, and then we have some machines, eating robots, or what you call it in English. For eating situations and food. We have some hospital beds that are kind of smart, and then we go over to snoozelen, and in this we'll talk about Parkinson's, dementia, and stuff like that, and just ask us questions during all this because that just makes it more fun. Yeah, so Mikkel is picking up a Gemino.
It's a Gemino Parkinson
roller. Yeah.
Roller. And what this is the smart thing about this is you have changed the way the brakes are, so you actually have to set it in go mode, and it always will be in brake. You can lift up, and it will brake when you let go.
Yeah, Parkinson patients, they have a tendency to freeze in the motions, and when the legs freeze, they can fall over. But if you freeze with this and you let go of the brakes, it stops you.
And primarily the way we can call it a Parkinson roller is because there is a little button on the side, and when you press that, there will come a light forward.
Yeah.
And that light reminds the Parkinson citizen that they have to follow the green light and the feet have to move with it.
Yeah.
It only is on for 10 seconds. So
But it helps a Parkinson patient when they freeze in the movement to have something visual to aim for that can set the motion back in track so they can walk again.
Yeah. And some of the new things we are seeing on all of the new rollers is you are putting a little bit more of plastic at the end, so it's easier to lift it up when you don't have that much power or the functional level. So you only can put a foot on it and it will lift. So if the elderly have to get into example with a bus, so it will be that much easier to come in. I had a student who always say, why don't they just lift it? But that much power they don't have. Lars is coming in and driving on a mobile scooter. So I will walk away with this one.
Yeah. So this might seem like a pretty standard normal scooter, but it's actually not. We have two of them. We have another one here. So this scooter is, you can fold it into kind of a
mini bag.
A vacation bag, or or roller, a small roller like this. And you can do it really, really, really fast. Just like that, it's a roller. And you can take it on an airplane, you can have it in your car. Actually, the woman who delivered this to us, she had a disease, a handicap that, but she had a kind of lift in her car, and this was in the trunk, and she just lifted it out and folded it out, and then she could drive. So for her, it works. It's a genius thing because it's so mobile, it's so small, and yet it can get around. She can, drive about 25 kilometers on one charge. So that gives her a lot of freedom. And when we talk about welfare tech, in our minds, we often talk about freedom and life quality. It's not welfare tech in our eyes if it's not giving some kind of quality, some kind of value to the user. And that's both if it's for the employees or the citizens. Yeah.
They can ride up to, I think, 12.5 kilometers an hour, the mobile scooter.
Yeah.
And it could ride faster, but it's the Danish law. If it rides faster than 15 kilometers, it's a different kind of unique set of rules they have to follow. This one is a comfort chair, so it's for a patient who have to sit in the chair almost the entire day. There's nothing special about it. It can tilt, so we can put the patient in the most correct way. But the most interesting thing about this one is the seat. So this pillow is made out of small triangles of air, and it's because it's in the prevention of pressure sores. So it's not much more than a little bag of air, and there is a lot in it. The one thing there is to need about it, you need to know, is it will form after the body of the patient, so it has to be shaken up a little bit every day and put back in place, and that could be used when the citizen is in a shower or lying in bed. But it's the only thing really have to know about it. But it's an interesting way to think of prevention. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of welfare tech is also about preventing the citizens to be even more sick. So preventing pressure ulcers is very, very important. We also talk about that a little bit when we talk about the beds here. But what I just roll in with is a wheelchair. But this wheelchair is not a standard wheelchair. One of the things that people in wheelchairs say they don't like is that they are always placed lower than everybody else. They have to look up on everybody else. But this chair has actually got a solution for that. In a sitting position, I can raise it up about 40 centimeters. So, well, Mikkel is pretty tall, so I'm not going to be in eyesight just with him, but with most people, I'm actually in the same height. So we are more equal.
And the one thing is here that Lars can still ride about 5 kilometers an hour. So he can ride in a pretty fast walking speed.
So I could be out shopping with Mikkel and still be able to look him in the eye, and we could have a kind of a normal conversation. Yeah. But what this can do also is I can actually stand up even though I'm paralyzed. I have support in my legs here so they won't fall out.
And you have some support when you're leaning forward here. If you are more paralyzed than from the wrist and up, you can get a strap, so you can get strapped.
Yeah. I'm totally relaxed in my legs right now. So the only thing is pulling me up here is actually just the chair.
And to see in this,
and I can still move around.
You can move around in a speed of 2.5 kilometers.
Yeah.
So it's a slow walking speed, but it's an okay walking speed.
Yeah.
So you can still.
And I can actually also lean a bit forward, so I can reach stuff in my. If I'm standing in my kitchen, or
no.
If I'm standing in my kitchen or I'm out shopping or something like that. I can also, if I wanted to take a rest, I can actually lie down in this as well.
This is one or a few of the only there can lie a total flat.
Yeah.
We have in Denmark. So that's kind of smart when you need to. I will get another kind of wheelchair. So when Lars is moving away, I can show you what is called Rollz Motion. So this is, in the way it looks now, is a pretty bad wheelchair. The wheels are not that high, and the seat is not that preventing of pressure sores, and so is the arm length. But it's not meant for a citizen to stay in. It's for a short period of time. But what it can is I can plug it, and then I can take this one a little bit down, and then I have a roller. So it's a combi between a wheelchair and a roller. And that can be a good thing to maintain some kind of functional level and walk as far the patient has to walk. And when the patient is done walking and cannot more, we can just break it and put it up pretty easy, and then the citizen can sit down in the wheelchair, and the friend, the wife, the child can walk away with the,
So this is kind of a scooter as well. It's just an engine that you can mount upon basically any wheelchair. The smart thing here is you can use, when the citizen is not using this, it can just be placed outside. And The innovation in this is that it's fully automatic. I just pushed 2 buttons and now it's releasing itself. So I can park this entire engine outside or in my shed or whatever, and when I have to leave the house, I can just roll up to this. Push 2 buttons and then just wait for the engine to install itself. And then I have a perfectly good scooter that that can take me far. So yeah, that's another new thing in the market.
Yeah, and again, it's a scooter. It can ride fast. It can go up to 35 kilometer if it's code 2. But in Denmark, it can only go as high as 15 kilometers an hour. So that what it code 2 could ride. This one is an chair, but it's a hygiene chair. It's a chair weight. So it's for if we have to get some patient to cover how much the patient weigh, we can put it in the chair and we can weigh it with the control system back here. We can get the BMI percentage of the citizen too. There's not much in it. It can be taken out in the shower. It's pretty clean, neat to and hygiene to clean afterwards. But it's mainly for weighing people who don't have the physicality to stand up for themselves. So
yeah, and this wheelchair might look like a standard wheelchair, but it's absolutely not. The genius with this wheelchair is that they took the technology from an electric bike and put it on this. So within the wheels there is an engine, battery engine that helps you. So if I activate this just a little bit, it would actually help me quite a lot. So I can roll my wheelchair with just 2 fingers. It has a range about 25 kilometers. So if you go in a straight line, 50 kilometers. But if you go in and out, 25 kilometers. So with this chair, you can be really, really mobile, and you can get around. You can visit people without the need of a bus or anything like that. And there's a remote with 2 types of speed, and you can turn it off because when you're when there's other people around, it's pretty lively. You can see I'm just using 2 fingers here, and it almost turns me 180 degrees around. If I put it down on 1, it just helps me a little bit, not very much. So it's more easy to control when it's on 1. Yeah, but it's a genius chair. Yeah, it's if you want the names of these, this is an E-Motion Alber-E. It's a German chair. Yeah, just write in the comments if you want the names of the wheelchairs and stuff.
This is an electrical hygiene chair. The main thing there is to talk about it is a bathing chair where the nurse or the healthcare assistant can walk with the patient, and that's good for the work environment for the nurses or the healthcare personnel, because we don't have to push it, and that can be hard. We can also place the controller so the patient can use it on their own, or else it's just like a pretty normal bathing chair. The only thing you need to remember is it can't charge when you are showering in it because of the electricity. So I will walk off with this and come back with Lars will come with a new chair.
Yeah.
And then we are going on, keeping it strong.
So we hope the connection now won't break again. Well, this is also just a basic wheelchair actually, but it has an engine for the helper on the back here. And actually this wheelchair, or the engine for this, can be mounted on every wheelchair. You just have to have a mount on the wheelchair, and then basically what you have to do is pull it out like this, and then you can put it on another wheelchair. So if you work in an elder home where you have maybe 10 elderly that could use this, or the employees could use this with the elderly, well, then you can just take it off and put it on another wheelchair. So you only have to invest in one engine and maybe 10 mounts for the engine. But yeah, it's really easy to take on and off. So it just gives there's one big expense, and then you have actually an engine for all the wheelchairs.
And again, it's a much more a product for the healthcare workers than it is for the patient, because it is hard to push people in a wheelchair up a hill.
Yeah.
But this can both restrain the speed of the wheelchair down the hill, so you don't have to hold so much back, but get a help up. So it's for the work environment. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and well, if we talk life quality again, the citizens, you can take them out. You can take a walk in the forest or whatever, but you can do that without. Yeah. You can't do with a normal wheelchair because it's too hard to push them so far. But with this, it's easy.
Yeah. So I think it was all of the chairs, the rollers and the wheelchairs. So we will go to the table now. And again, write anything if there's something down with the signal, or if you have any questions. Then I will start. This one is a Droplet, is it called? It is a speaking cup, we call it. It is called because it speaks. So it's for prevention of dehydration for the elders. It is a cup who tells you when to drink. You can install it with your own voice messages, and if lights, you can code it to speak from 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, but it's all for and have night break and night light. But this is for prevention of the dehydration. It also with a thermic cup, so if the elderly is drinking coffee or tea, it can work. There's not much more there. It runs on, I think, AA batteries.
Yeah. And then we can take the Aquatime glass as well. What's great about this glass is that it actually measures everything you drink. So it measures everything that comes in the cup. And every time you drink, it would actually tell you how much you've drunk during that day. And everything is logged, and everything is cloud driven. So everything gets registered and journaled, and so the documentation of everything is fully automatic. And it will actually tell also if the citizen just poured it out. Because if you pour something out, it's another movement than when you drink something. So it can actually register that as well. Yeah. So if you cheat, it will also register that. Yeah,
and it's because in Denmark the way of measuring how much water the the patients are drinking, it is doing in handwritten schematics, and this is going to be much more accurate than that.
Yeah, and it saves time, unnecessary time for filling out papers and stuff like that, and writing it into the computer afterwards. This is just automatic.
Yeah. The one you see here, there is just going up and down, up and down. It's a fully automatically eating robot. So what you see is the spoon is going down, taking the food and lifting it up where we code the patient to be sitting. Then it goes down, and then the plate will turn around, so new things will come. And it's not so much for the dementia people or the elderly people, but young people who have become paralyzed or something have a high use of this.
Yeah, they actually love using these eating robots because it gives them a sense that they can take care of themselves. In elder homes, well, both the employees might have some resistance towards this, but also the elderly might have some resistance toward this. But they are also used in elder homes and stuff like that. So the iEat right now is fully automatic. We can program it with a button as well. This one over here is called Obi, and it's kind of a different type. As you can see here, it has 4 compartments for food. And then we have 2 buttons. One of them, I change the compartment, so I change the food. And with the other button, it gives me 1 bite. And these buttons, they can be placed well on the table, but also by the elbow or whatever the citizen can actually move.
Yeah,
or it's just the helper that pushes the button.
It is. It can be placed anywhere the patient have as a function. So some have it down with the foot, so they can choose with right and left foot.
Yeah. And this one is called iFloat. It's actually just a spring-supported arm, but what it does, it makes my arm feel weightless. So I can move around and I can do all kinds of things without actually using any force. So if you don't have that much resources, it can really help you out in eating situations when your arm is weightless. You can do much more yourself.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, yeah, I can take this one. Over here is the iEat mechanical eating robot, and it's part of the same way as the iFloat. It is, you have to use some power to get it down, and when you get it down, you can let go and it will go up.
Yeah.
We can fix it to go a little bit faster, and where it has to go, but there is some mechanic in it. We have to dig a little bit around it.
Yeah, and you can also use this if you have Parkinson's disease, because
shakiness.
Yeah,
it will stabilize a little bit.
Yeah, the spring will stabilize all the movements. We also have a counterweight spoon. We also have this with gyro in it, but it doesn't work right now, so we can't show you. But what that does, the Gemino spoon, what it does with a gyro inside it is just, it will stabilize again the movement.
In this spoon there is 2 magnets on either side.
Yeah, so that's just balancing the food. So if you can't move your arms that well, it will balance the food so it don't fall off. Yeah, and well, I just want to say that you can use the iFloat here with different other things, like a knife and a fork with very big handles, so you can hold on to them very easily, or with a power assistant glove. So if you have very few resources to move your arms, you can use the iFloat over here, and maybe together with this one. So this is basically just a glove with some hoses in it, and then it's set up to a small pressure tank in this. And if I click the button, it would actually bend my fingers. And it's a pretty good grip. I'm totally relaxed in my hand right now. If I push the button again, it will release. I'm not using my own hand. Can you catch it?
Yeah.
So, release. And as you can see here, when I push the button, it crumbles together. When I release it, it goes out again. Power assistant glove, yeah.
And the one thing with the power assistant glove is it is manufactured after what the patient needs. So hand size, what fingers that needs to be closed or tied together. So this is just a demo model.
You can actually invert it as well, so it helps you stretch your fingers if you have arthritis in your fingers and stuff like that as well.
So it kind of rehabilitating too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have all kinds of different things for the kitchen.
For the kitchen or the eating situation. This is soft grip. Lars showed you a little bit before, but it's rubber, and you can put whatever you need down in it. I have some student who's innovated, try to make it compatible with a toothbrush. But yeah.
Yeah. This one, well, it's just an electric toothbrush. You might be able to hear it when I turn it on. Right now it just says a high pitch and wee, and that's the normal brush function. If I push the button again, there's a sucking sound, if you can hear it. And basically what it does is that the mouth water of the patient gets pumped into this bag. So if a citizen is paralyzed, or just half of the body is paralyzed, they have problems swallowing, and that can be very, very, very unpleasant to have someone brush your teeth and not be able to control your mouth water. So this, and it doesn't cost much more than a normal toothbrush, but it's just a small genius thing that you can actually get all the mouth water and toothpaste out of the citizen's mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have so much, so many different ways of eating and kitchenized things to different, but this is a knife with two, so it's easier to cut. We have just fast
a
cutting board.
Yeah.
So there is nails to
contain the bread, to place the bread upon,
or you can use this to contain the bread when you're cutting it,
and a peeler there. Yeah.
So
you can actually do everything in the kitchen with one hand. What we have here is a Medimi Smart. It's a medicine robot that can give you the right amount of pills and medicine during the day. And you can change, and everything is documented as well, and everything is in the cloud, is logged in the patient's journal. Even if it makes a mistake, it scans the container here, and also scans the pills, so it knows exactly what's in there and how much is in there and how many pills should be in there.
When you close it, it scans the QR code on this disc, so they know it is the correct person who gets the medicine and what medicine it is. And it's wired, not wired, but we are, the cloud is in the two systems in Denmark. We have something called Together Medicine Card, nicely translated.
Yeah.
But there knows everything there is for every medicine description. So if you take some painkillers, you know you can take 2, and there has to go 4 hours before you can take 2.
Yeah.
So you can have painkillers in the machine, the citizen can take 2, but it locked it for 4 hours to the next one.
Yeah.
And then it is.
So when it's ready for the citizen to take the medicine, it flashes green, and if you don't push the button and push the medicine out, you can program it to do several steps. It can connect you to some relatives, or it can actually make
a flash message on your phone.
Yeah.
Or it can say it's time for a medicine, so it can speak.
Yeah. Or contact the healthcare personnel, and then they can actually come and check on the citizen to see if everything's okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of safety in that, and there's actually a much lower risk of mistakes that can cause death with these kind of machines than when people do it.
Yeah, and also our healthcare workers save some time for other healthcare tasks, so they don't have to go and what to say?
It's time. It costs a lot of time to visit the citizens 3-4 times a day to check if they take the medicine.
Yeah, and it's some things that in Denmark is moving on the market is the telemedicine, where we use you can take the blood pressure instruments. It's going to the cloud, and they are taking it at home and speaking with a healthcare personnel via a tablet.
Again, everything gets documented just through the clouds.
Or the pulse oximeter who measures oxygen in the level in the blood, and is much more for the patient with COPD.
Yeah.
And one other smart thing is
a spirometer, where you can actually measure the lung function. This is also connected to an app and will send all the data directly to the clouds. And every healthcare person who treats this patient, whether it's the medicine, whether it's the blood pressure, whether it's a Spiro Magic, they can get these data. So everything is shared. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is for compression socks. So it is made for the healthcare personnel to. It is easier to roll on compression socks because it's pretty hard, and it's hard for the fingers of the personnel. So what you do is you simply just roll it off. And I put it down on the floor because it's
it has a suction cup, but it doesn't always work that well
on different surfaces.
Yeah.
So
and then you can actually just roll.
What's the other way?
You can actually just roll the sock onto the citizen, and these are very, very tight. If you ever try to put this on another human being, it's very, very tight. Tighter than a rock star's jeans. So, but with this, it can just be rolled on and off, and it's very, very easy, both for the employee and the citizen, because you can actually hurt the citizen trying to pull on a precious sock like this.
It is one of the things that is really great when we show it for the personnel and the students in the healthcare department, because it's smart and easy going. It was not that hard to roll off, and it's pretty, you can see, easy to roll on my arm. Before we're showing that bed last, can we show the, what is it called in English? Substitute?
Yeah.
So the nurses that is watching know what it is. I can't remember what it's called in English. But the smart thing about this is you can fold it together and it don't weigh that much. So it's easy to save some places. One of the things in Denmark on the Danish hospital is it weighs in rooms. They fill so much.
They take up all the rooms in the depot, and
And I've worked as in the depots and hospitals, and Oh, they feel so much. But that was an easy thing. Is also a lightweight, so pretty easy.
Yeah. So this is a Opus 5 bed, Opus 5 bed, and the doll in here is actually a simulation doll called Nursing Anne, but it's not turned on right now. But basically, this is a hospital bed, and basically what it can is help the patient get out of bed by sitting them up. Yeah. We have different kinds of these beds. We also have a rotor bed that rotates out to the side. We can't show it to you because it's in another room. But basically it's the same. It's just to help the citizen or the patient to get out of bed by themselves or with help from their partner or something like that.
But before you lift it, it can also tilt to the sides.
Yeah.
So when you are making a movement of a patient, it's much easier to...
So if I wanted to turn them
over
to the other side, if you tilt the bed sidewards, it's very easy to get them up on the side. Yeah. Maybe they can do it themselves just by guiding them.
You can tilt it a little bit more with this.
And that's it's only, I think it's 5 or 10 degrees, yeah. But that helps a lot if you have to change the sheets or you have to dress the citizen. Yeah. So it's actually very, very genius. Mm. And then of course we can get the patient out of bed as well, or sit them up.
Yeah. And one of the things when we're showing this to our own student, it is always, aren't you scared about them falling out of the bed when they're going? And no, not really, because the controller Lars has is an employing controller. So when you're using this function, you will always stand near the patient and have eye contact and speaking contact with them, so we are sure they don't just jump out.
Yeah.
And also, it can be hard to see on screen, but if you imagine the chair is making like a loop, so you just don't slide down.
You can't slide, because right here, maybe you can see it, there's kind of a loop. So even though this is a doll, it's not holding on to anything, I hope it will sit in place.
I will sit down.
It won't fall out. So the patients, they won't fall out. But either way, the healthcare workers or the nurses, they will also always be standing right here next to the patient.
And have the contact.
Yeah.
So it's just to get the movement out of bed is much easier to get her to her roller or scooter or a wheelchair.
When a patient has been operated, science shows that the sooner they get up and get moving around, the better it is for their health, and they will recover faster. And this is, one step of the way. The bed next to it?
Yeah. The bed here is it's a normal hospital bed, but on the bed there is placed a system that is called Vendlet.
Yeah.
So what do you call it? Turn easy in English. But what it is a sheet mounted in the sides, so we easy can make movement with the patient in the bed. So it has two controllers, because we still have the normal bed controller, and then we have the Vendlet controller. And you always need to press start twice fast, because either way it won't. So I can ride the sheet down and up. So if I'm going to move the patient to the side, I can see if I can fix that. So you can see it will roll, and we need to roll him to the right side. I can just write this up again, so he doesn't turn out.
Yeah.
So we got him on the side. And if we're going to have him back, we just push the button.
So again, we can move the patient without using our own body and
And that makes our
work environment
so much better because a lot of our students and healthcare workers is dealing with back problems because of all the movement they have and all the way in. We are pressing the back all the way. So when we are talking about work environment, we have the razor. Also, that is a lifting chair. So we're just gonna push the Vendlet back as much as we can, and I will pick out the razor. The razor is a mobile lifting chair, and it comes in 7 different instruments, parts.
Yeah. So when a person falls over,
I can fall. I always fall. So
when a person falls over, if you just pull him up, you can actually hurt him. You can hurt your back. But with this one, with this razor, you can lift him up without using any force, actually.
So while Lars is doing this, I can tell you, in Denmark, for the healthcare workers' work environment, they can only lift 12.5 kilo. So when we talk to students about the razor, it is always somebody who says, I can just lift him up or her up, but we don't have any people in Denmark, elderly people. There's not that many people that only weigh 12.5 kilo.
Yeah, so this can lift 150 kilos. It can do it about 80 to 100 times.
Per charge.
Per charge, yeah. And that was actually it. Now I can raise him up. And of course I'll check if he was hurt or anything like that before doing this. And also be supporting him.
And it goes a little bit slow, but it's the meaning it has to go slow. Because you can't do it fast when you have to lay down because of the
patient can get dizzy.
Yeah.
There's also a neck support here, but that's just an additional thing. But yeah, and basically that's it. It's really easy.
And you cannot use it if you have gathered it wrongly or missing a part. It will tell you that. It will tell you that. So it can only work if you're doing it right.
Yeah, you can't put it together wrong. So yeah.
So that's easy.
Yeah.
So one of the things we needed to show you was something about in Dutch you have the word snoezel. In Denmark we call it snoezel, but we have taken that verb in our language too when we are working with all of the senses, and we have gathered a little apartment for that here. And one of the first thing I can show you.
Yeah, Hendrik has a question about the razor.
Yeah.
He asks if it can work on carpets, and it can.
Yeah.
There are tiny wheels on the legs, so it works on any surface.
Yeah, and one of the new things the company Lift Up has used is they have made a manual razor where there's
a handle on it. Yeah.
So if you, and this I think 20 Danish crowns, 20,000.
The electric one is 26,000 Danish crowns, and the other one is only 12. About 8 or 10.
Yeah, 10. Yeah.
So so you can maybe afford it as a private person as well.
We just needed to show you this one before we made it to the snoezel equipment. This is what is called Sara Stedy, and if we clock the wheels, and we take a wheelchair. It's to show how easy we can move a patient from, let's say, a bed or a wheelchair down to another place. So Lars is coming here. I can push the legs out, and then I can go in here and break it. And then with the functionality Lars has, he can go up, he can stand a little bit. I can move the wheelchair out and push these seats down. And then you can relax.
Thank you.
Then I can ride Lars wherever he has to go. So
yeah, and this is a great thing for getting a patient out of the bed and over to a wheelchair if they have a little function in their legs, because you can use the bed to rise them up, so they don't have to use that much force in their legs, and that just makes it very, very easy.
Yeah,
it's used all over in Denmark, this one, and it's cheap as well.
And when we working with patient or elderly people, they have to. One of the mentors we have is they need to use their own functionality as much as they can, because
to keep them
active.
Yeah.
If we just do it for granted that they can't anything, they will be bad so much faster. So if they can stand just a little bit, it will be so nice.
Yeah. Okay, so moving over to Snoozeren. Well, what I have here, watch for the mic. It's
the Joy Vest.
It's a Joy Vest. It's for also for getting active, but also for relaxing. It has weight in it, so so it will affect my grounding. And then there are two sensors here, and these sensors, when I move them, the music will start to play. And if I stop, the music will stop as well.
We can change the music.
And we can change the music. So we can invite the citizens to dance and nudge them to dance.
Yeah. And we can place it anywhere the patient has functionalities.
Yeah.
So if the legs they need to move, they can do that, or it's the arm, we can place it there.
Yeah.
And then I just dropped it. So this one is one of the, you can see, dementia robots. We have this one is not that technology, but it's a cat, and when I turn it on, it's going to be alive. And then you can cuddle a little bit with it. So it can be used for elderly dementia people who have had a cat when they were young, and they can use it to get some remembering back. But it also grounding and relaxing to sit with. So we have a couple of these in a higher price rate too, but this is the one we have in Disco, and it works perfectly. And when you're tired of it, you can just turn it off again.
Yeah. This is also used a lot. It's called an Inmu music pillow. It's also used a lot for dementia, just to calm the patient down. And as you can hear, it plays soothing, calm music. If I stop moving it around, it will fade out. It's very, very soft. If I put it on my chest, I can feel the vibrations of the music. And it's basically just to create focus and calm down. It's also used a lot when you have to move, especially people with dementia, just to give them focus and keep them calm, but also just to relax.
Yeah, and this is a big picture, which is a relaxing bear or teddy. So it is made of easy cleaning material, so it's very hygiene. You can just spread it off but it's made for when sitting down or laying down in bed. But it's heavy in the bottom, and it will ground me and move a little bit by my tactile sense or some of the skin.
Yeah, and this is kind of the same. It's just
It's storbent.
Storbent is called.
It's big bent.
What he's really great at is giving a hug. And it actually feels like a real hug from a child because he weighs about 4 kilos.
That is 4.5 kilo,
Yeah.
and the little one I have is 3.5.
Yeah, and because there's weight in the arms, he actually grabs onto you, and it feels like you're holding a baby. So that gives comfort and focus and relaxing. It's a relaxing activity for many people with dementia or in the psychiatry.
Yeah, and it is a good thing. We have a lot of these dementia robots and teddy bears, but some of them looks like dogs, some of them looks like cats, some of them looks like seal, or we got real children. Also, not real children, but bears, teddy bears as children. But there is some ethical in working with that, and that's some part our students have to remember when they're giving it, how to use these, because some of them either looks like or reminds them of how to have children, and that can get a little bit sketchy when you have with dementia people or girl. Yeah, and some of the other things I can show you this patient screen.
Yeah.
So it's made for hospitals or nursing homes. It's kind of easy cleaning, but it's not that there has to be in focus. We have chosen a motive on this screen, and it's, I can try and shake it as far out I can, but it's with colors. There is uplifting, and the other thing is that it's handle. So when we're using it on nursing homes with dementia people, they will see this and then say, oh, I cannot go there. Some of the nursing homes in Denmark have bus stoppers with the exit, so they can sit there and look.
Yeah.
But that's some of it.
So I've sat down in a scented chair, and basically what this is, it's a chair that's used for, especially in the psychiatry. It's there to ground you and to keep you calm and relieve stress. In these flaps, there are, a lot of balls with weight in them. So you get pressure points all over your body, and you get kind of not locked in, but you get this relaxing feeling in your body, just like when you're in your bed with a heavy blanket above you, on you. And they use it in the handicap area, the special area, and especially the psychiatry.
Yeah, we visited the psychiatry, and they used it a lot, but they not always use the sides.
No,
but just as a fat boy.
Just to sit in, because it also has these balls in
the back.
In the back.
Yeah. So what I'm sitting in is a rocking chair, that is made for the nursing homes, and it's just a comfy things to sit in.
Yeah.
But I to get it rocking, I need to start moving on my own. So I still need some function to move, and that is still a good thing because we want the elderly people to move.
Yeah.
And use the function they have.
There's also one important point here. It is that a normal rocking chair, it moves like this, where this rocking chair moves like this. So you won't get seasick as fast, and it's actually more soothing and more relaxing to sit in this kind of rocking chair compared to a normal rocking chair.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
Yeah,
This is what you call it. It is called Need Me, and it's a knee blanket with balls in it. So I will get the pressure on my knees and thighs, and it still is for the grounding of me and relaxing. I can also, there is a little bit pocket, so I can have some, what do you call it, a small things to
just to fondle around with. Yeah.
But it's for the grounding, and you can use that in combo with this or other things.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
As you can see, there's also a small one here.
This is just a pillow to sit on, and it's used.
Especially with kids with ADHD, it's used very much.
And when we used welfare technology with balls in it, we can use bigger or smaller balls, or we can use chains.
Yeah.
So.
It depends on the purpose and the person. But as you can see, we try to have a little relaxing corner here. And this tree is not actually just a tree. Maybe you can hear it. There's actually a kind of a sensor in the front. And when I move in front of the tree, the birds will start singing.
Again, it is... in Denmark, on the nursing home for dementia people, we are not allowed to lock them in.
No.
They have the free will, but this one we would like to be in. But this can remind them about the woods.
So it can start a conversation, and it's also beautiful to look at, and the birds gives a relaxing ambient sound in the background. Yeah.
I think I had one of the last things is the fiber glow. I will go close to the camera so you can see it. But there is an on-off button in the back, and when I use it, it is. Can you see it, Lars?
Yeah.
There is light in it, so when we can change the light or the tempo with a little button. But this is for light therapy and for using the eyes. But also, it is pretty heavy and nice to fondle around with.
Yeah.
So we are working with the tactile sense again, and
so especially kids with autism and
the grounding. Also
with autism and other brain damage, it's relaxing to have something to fondle with again. Yeah, and then the light and everything gives them kind of focus and calms them down.
Yeah, I think
we are through all the technologies.
All of the big technologies.
Yeah. We're very sorry about the connection. And if this video is going to be edited and it's going to be on our YouTube, and you can find it there. But it's the school's internet today, and I don't know why. Usually it's very, very stable, but today we had some problems.
If you're interested in watching a lot of more of these things, you can check it out on our YouTube channel. We're talking Danish, but
all the instructional videos, you can see how the things work.
Yeah, and all the contact on what the real name is and the product, and also and if there is any questions, just write in the comment section of this video. We're gonna have the feed going a little bit, so you can still. It was the speaking cup just talked.
So you can still ask us questions. You can also mail us. Reach out to us through YouTube if you're watching this later.
Yeah, or write to us in Messenger on Facebook. We see it and we will answer all the questions you have.
Yeah.
So just write if you think of something.
Yeah.
And I hope you have enjoyed this and learned something new or seen some of the welfare technology we have. We have so much more we could show, but it's a limited time and square place we have. So we've filled it up, and in the back.
This is probably about 50% of what we got here. Less, even, yeah.
And we're
So,
getting new things now.
Yeah. Well, thank you for today. Thank you for tuning in. And let us know if you have any questions or anything like that.
Yeah.